The best reading skill no one ever taught you. Okay, let's get straight into the value here. The best reading skill no one really ever talks about that much is reading multiple books. This is other than note taking, because I love to talk about note taking, but I don't talk about reading multiple books at the same time enough. I believe this is a skill that will help you tremendously. And a lot of people look at me in surprise when I say that I read like 4 or more books at the same time. Some people think I'm crazy for doing that, but there are so many benefits. And today I'm going to talk with you about 3 of those benefits, 3 of those strategies that can really help you to read multiple books at one time. So the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what do you usually do when you want to find something out? Usually you go to maybe a Google search, or you go to YouTube and you want to find out how to do something, or you're curious about a certain fact or something like that. So Google search, looking at blogs, and watching YouTube videos are one of the easiest ways to find out information. But if you want to dig deeper, you want to buy a book about that particular topic that you're interested in learning about. Because when you're reading a book, it has all that information consolidated in a 200-page or so book, maybe more, maybe less, but it's all compact in that one place. And this is going to help you to dig deeper into that topic. And I'm sure there are multiple things that you are interested in and multiple things that you want to improve your skills on. And I believe that books are probably one of the best ways that you can discover that information in one place that is going to help you dig a whole lot deeper than a 1,000-word blog post or a 20-minute video. How long does it take you to read through a book, a 200-page book? Well, it could take you, 4, 5 hours, maybe 6 hours. It depends on your reading speed. So there is a ton of information packed in one single book. But you're probably not going to just read one single book about all the interests that you have. So multiple books would be the answer to that question. Hence the reason why I say read multiple books about different topics at the same time. And the second thing that I want you to ask yourself, which is actually extremely important when it comes to reading multiple books at the same time, is this book relevant to my interests? Is it relevant to what you are working on right now at this time, or something that you might need to improve on in the near future? If that book is very relevant to you, then of course you're going to be very interested in reading that book. And it's going to be very helpful for you at this time or in the near future, or it's something that you're very interested in. So I want to show you a few examples. Here's a little bonus for you in this video. A few examples. You get to see some of the books that I am currently reading right now. Some of them I'm reading on a regular daily basis. Others I read maybe only once a week. And that's another part of this tip here is you do not need to read all of the books every single day, every single book that you're reading. You can dip in and dip out of the books as needed. So the first book that I have here is The Bezos Blueprint by Carmine Gallo, which comes out on November 15th, 2022. And I'm reading this book because it talks about writing tips. It talks about communication skills. It's something that all of us could benefit from. And so I'm really getting a kick out of this book right now, reading through it. The other one is This Is Your Brain on Music. I love neuroscience. I love music. Mix it together, and you've got a great book. And then here, I always love reading about parenting, The Self Driven Child, and I also teach as well. So this book comes in very, very handy when I'm parenting my child or teaching my students or anything like that. And then, of course, I love anything about learning. So I'm slowly reading through The Adult Learner. I've taken a little bit of a break on this one, but I still dip into it. I still read it, and I still try to apply the knowledge in my life. Then we've got How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I've been kind of stolen on this one a little bit because, well, it's not as relevant as I thought it was going to be. And so I've kind of put this one to the side, but I may, for enjoyment, read this one here and there. Or I may stop it completely. And actually, that is totally fine if you stop reading some of the books that you've picked up, and maybe those books have just not been the best for you at this time. You can always pick them up at a later date, or you can just decide not to read them ever again. And then I always throw in a fiction book, and this one is a book that I'm reading for a book club that I'm involved in right now. This is called The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And so I really like reading some fiction. Maybe before I go to sleep, I can dip into this book, kind of get some relaxation in, and get some imagination flowing. And yes, I've got 8 books here total. This one's a pretty big one. This is also one that I kind of dip in and out of because it's the game of innovation. And it talks a lot about how to be more innovative in a corporate or community environment. And so I feel like this is a good one that I can just kind of dip in and out of. I don't necessarily need to read from front cover to back cover. And then also same with this one, Event Success. I also like to do some workshops, some public speaking events periodically, and reading books like this really helps to generate new ideas about how I can go about running my workshops that I do, and just to build up my skills with that. So that's a preview of all the books that I'm currently reading, and you can see that I've kind of got some topics here and there, like some common themes. I've got the psychology and the neuroscience and the learning and the event and innovation and stuff like that. Your list might look a little bit different, and that's totally fine. The most important thing that you have to consider is whether that book is relevant to you at the time, and how you can apply that information, and how fast are you going to go through the book. That doesn't matter. Sometimes it takes me 3 months to get through certain books. Other times it only takes me 1 month. Other times maybe even 2 weeks or just a week. It really depends on the content of the book and how much of that content I can actually apply in my life. How much can I experiment with? How much can I teach, right? So you got to think about all these different types of things when you're reading multiple books all at the same time. I can see how it can get quite overwhelming if you've got too many books going on at once. But if you do it the way that I do it, then you will have no problem with remembering and applying and just dabbling in some of these books that you're reading. So it doesn't really matter how many books you read during a whole entire year. Although it sounds awesome to read 52 books for the whole entire year, that means you read an average of about 1 book per week, which is awesome. But it depends on what you do with that knowledge. It depends on how you connect that knowledge from the books that you read. So this third tip here is connecting the dots, connecting the ideas together through the books that you're reading. And when you're reading multiple books at one time, you can easily start to make more connections than if you were to read one book, read it all the way through cover to cover, and then go on to the next book, read it all the way from cover to cover. Although you can still make connections between the books that you are reading, it's a whole lot easier to do it when you're reading it at the same time. And that's why I pick my books kind of in themes. That way I can try to make connections between the books. And I physically do that through the notes that I take and the journaling that I do on a regular basis. So my suggestion to you for this third tip is to make sure that you're taking copious notes. And I've made several videos about this topic. So definitely check out the playlist in the reading tips on my YouTube channel. Check out those. Look through some of the videos that I've created on note taking. That way you can generate some more ideas about how to connect your ideas using the Zettelkasten method of note taking. And also make sure that you are experimenting or teaching or writing about what you have been learning. This is a key factor in remembering. It's a key factor in making what you read relevant. It's a key factor in really everything that you do with reading. So experimenting with thinking about it or writing about it or teaching it or creating YouTubes or video, or content or anything like that. This is going to help you to solidify the knowledge in your brain. It's going to help you to help others as well if you're teaching them. So there you have it. You have several reasons why reading multiple books at the same time is a very good thing to do for your reading habits, for your innovation, for your ideas, for helping others, for making connections between the books that you're reading. So I hope that all of these tips have come in very useful for you. I hope that you can at least try to experiment with this and see what works for you. Even if you're only reading maybe 2 books or 3 books at one time. That is, in my opinion, better than just 1 book at one time. So check these out. Check out some of the other playlists, especially in the reading tips. Those will help you to become better at note-taking and other reading tips as well in there. And I will see you in the next video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like these. Also follow my other social media accounts such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for more valuable content. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you guys next time.